Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the blocks for the quilt, Friends and Heroes. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, you can visit our website and you can acquire it that way. We have here on the Sewing Center a great selection of kind of like a reproduction red, white, and blues so that you can make this, which could qualify as a Quilt of Valor, Friends and Heroes quilt. And there is just one simple technique and you've got all the pieces you need to start making your blocks. So let's look at the block here first and analyze what's in it. It's what most of us would call a friendship star, a little bit of a variation. It has some triangles out here, but this friendship star in the center, a solid blue center. It has triangles as the points of the star, kind of a rotating effect, and then finishes with red triangles out in the outer corners. So what we're going to do to create this block is we're going to start in the center. It's just a simple square, and you're going to take, follow your instructions for the number of blue 10-inch pre-cut squares you need to take out, and from that we are going to be cutting 4 5/8 inch squares. So those are going to be the centers of all of our stars. Now they don't all have to be of the same print, they can be varied. As you've seen the quilt behind me, the centers of each of the star blocks is varied, but they are all blue. So you're going to take and cut those squares and set those aside for our construction. Then next you're going to take the background fabric, which is all one light, and you're going to pair up each of the red fabrics with a white 10-inch square and each of the blue 10-inch ones with a light background. So what we're going to do here, I'll show you with the red and white combination. Move these out of the area so that it's a little easier for us to concentrate on what we're doing. So here we're going to pair up that white and a red, and we are going to be making 8 triangle squares at one time from this without actually cutting any triangles in the beginning. So we're going to take this and a ruler, and we're going to mark a line diagonally from corner to corner in an X on the light color fabric, the one that's easiest for us to see our markings. So we're going to mark from corner to corner, and we're going to mark the other direction also, corner to corner. Now you can use a mechanical pencil or your favorite marking tool, fabric marking tool for this. And this is where the cutting line is going to be later. So we've got this X on here. And then what we're going to be going to do is going to go in and sew 1/4 inch from each side of that line. Now if that's an uncomfortable thing for you to do, is having to line that up and go 1/4 inch to each side of it, you can also take your ruler. You can mark 1/4 inch side on each side of that line and actually have a stitching line. It's up to you what you feel comfortable with. But we're going to come in on this one. I know that my sewing machine is set up with the needle position so that from the needle to the outer edge of the presser foot is 1/4 inch scant already. So I can just follow the edge of my presser foot right along the line that goes diagonally across my square. And we'll speed up just a little bit here. Whoops, mat's in the way. So we can go all the way across. And we would go then down the other side of that and the other one, the other direction. I've got one here that's all the way stitched so that you can see that I've just stayed 1/4 inch on each side of that line, and I've gone in both directions, cutting that square into large triangles. Okay, now it's going to be for the cutting, and how does this yield the 8 at a time triangle squares? Now I'm going to put a rotating mat under here so that when I'm cutting I can just shift the little mat and still be cutting in a safe direction. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to actually follow the lines that we did and we stitched and marked, but we're going to be doing kind of a window pane cut. We're going to bisect it both directions. 10-inch square, half is 5, so I'm putting my 5-inch line along the outer edge of the block, and it should fall, if you're correct, right down the crosshairs where your lines intersect. and we're going to slice that right through the middle. We're also going to rotate that, and we're going to do that again. 5 inches from the outer edge to the center should take you right down between the lines on the other direction. I made 2 cuts. Now the 3rd and 4th cut are, if everything stays aligned, is to go right down between my stitching lines and all the way across the block, just like that. And then we'll rotate so I can again cut in a safe direction, the last cut. And since these are down between the stitching lines, close counts, you don't want to get too close to your stitching line, but as long as you can stay down between them somewhat. And then as you start to open up, you will have triangle squares, a light and a red, and you'll have 8 of them from this simple process. So then you would take these to your ironing surface, and real quick I'll show you how to kind of layer them up, and let your ironing board actually help you do the pressing. So we come in and we set the seam first, which means that we just warm everything up. I should have laid it this way first, because what I want to do is pull up that dark piece and have the seam allowances going toward the dark. So like this, and then I can take the next one. This is my favorite thing, is get all the pieces cut, sewn and cut, and then just take them to the ironing board. Now I'm layering right on top and then pulling the next one up and opening it up. The ironing board is already hot. That will help your pieces be pressed nice and crisp, and just keep layering them. You can get a lot of pieces in a very small space this way. You're also going to repeat this process with each of the navy blues of your pre-cut 10-inch squares, with each of the lights, and you're going to have a stack of triangle squares, red and white and blue and white, and then you're ready to make your stars. So we've got, you just continue until you have all of them put together, and see how nicely those pressed out. Now, we did cut our centers already, remember? So we're going to put a center out. And if you'll notice in this quilt, each of the star points is a varied blue, and each of the outer red are another. They're not all matching, so you can use, here I have matching pieces, but as you get done going through all of your 10-inch squares, you're going to have a varied number of them. And then it's about making sure that you put them together. Oops, you gotta press the blues, so that your star does the spin in the middle. Not like this, but like this. It's kind of like they're at parallel angles there. And then you want red in your outer corners. So you're going to put in 4 here and here. And then basically it's just a 9-patch construction at that point. You will join together 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and then join your rows and you have your blocks. So you have to make 30 altogether. It's 5 rows by 6, and you'll have your Friends and Heroes quilt made in no time. For more of our quilting videos, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.